Stop watching porn. Alright? Okay, listen up. Today, we are going to talk... Stop watching porn! We're going to talk about self-talk. Talking to yourself. That's crazy, right? No, it's not crazy at all. Talking to yourself is wonderful, and you should do it a lot, all the time. I don't do it nearly enough. But it's a great thing, and it's actually a pretty good tool for withstanding temptation. And let me explain how. Okay, let's go back to some of my story here. A lot of the times when I would slip up and watch porn, which was something that I wasn't supposed to do, because I decided not to do that, and God says the stuff about the lust and the adultery and the sin and whatnot. A lot of the times that I would be tempted and fall into that didn't start off as like an obvious temptation. It was kind of almost like I was tricked, or I tricked myself, or however you want to say it, into putting myself in kind of a compromising situation where I was more likely to fall into that, where I did fall into that. How did that happen? Well, let's say I am browsing the internet, as people tend to do. And I decide to go to this one site, and I go to this one part of this site where I know that they have porn. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not here for the porn, obviously, because, I decided to quit that. So that's not it at all. But there's this other stuff there, which there actually was. There's this other stuff there that I'm also interested in. It's funny, it's interesting, whatever. And that's why I'm there. And I know there's going to be like porn all over the place, the rest of this page here, but I'm actually here for this other stuff. I'll just, keep my blinders on and make sure that that's what I look at. And so go there. And yep, there's the porn, not going to look at that. There's porn, not going to look at that. Okay, here's the thing that I'm interested in. And check that out. Like, okay, this is cool, that's nice. Okay, well, let's go see what else is there. And you go back and there's all this other stuff out there, and you're like, well, hold on a second. Is that what I think it is? Or is that real? What? Hold on, I have to see. This isn't watching porn, by the way. I'm totally, I'm focused. I know what I'm doing. This doesn't count because I'm not actually. It doesn't count. So I'm just seeing if that is what I think it is, which is bull stuff, by the way. But, yeah, I'm gonna see if that's what it is. And, oh, wow, huh. Man, that's weird. That's interesting, I didn't know. Is that more of the... Hold on, is that more of that, or... You get the story. That's, how it's going on in my head. That's kind of the dialogue that plays out. And... Here's the thing, though. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? That's because it is. And if you were just aware of the conversation in your head and you were actually talking to yourself and questioning yourself, then you would realize that on the spot instead of later on. You see, you've been down that path 1,000 times before. If that's, how it worked out for you. That's how it worked for me a lot of times. That's how temptation kind of took hold. But, it's a path I'd been down 1,000 times before, and I just wasn't aware of the situation in the moment. And that's why I was able to fall into that. When you start talking to yourself, you start questioning yourself. What does that look like? Let's start from the beginning here. Okay, well, I want to check out this stuff on this website that there is also porn on. Okay, well, let me ask myself, is that really why I'm there? Do I have any other possible ulterior motives? Do I even really need to be there in the first place? Like, what am I going to gain by checking out this funny, interesting picture or whatever it is, How is that going to make me any happier tomorrow? What is, have I been down this path before? Have you been in this kind of situation and it had a bad outcome that you really regretted? These are questions that you got to ask yourself, and you do that by becoming aware of the conversation in your head. Do that by joining the conversation in your head. A lot of times, we just kind of think passively. Our thoughts come and go as they please, and we don't really give our thoughts a lot of thought, but you need to, and you need to get conscious about it and put it into words and get this conversation going with yourself. And that way you're going to realize what's actually going on there. You're going to realize what your options actually are, because here's the thing, the reason we don't make the right decisions in those kind of situations are because we're not actually aware of our options, and we're not actually aware of the decisions being made, because we're not checked into our head. We're kind of living somewhere else instead of being, really getting inside of our heads and finding out what we're really thinking, what direction we're really going in, whether we're treading down a path that we've been on before and hated. And that's how it goes down, is we're not aware, we're not self-aware. So the self-talk, this is self-awareness. If you're not aware of what you're doing, then there's a good chance you're going to end up doing the wrong thing. So be aware of what you're doing and what you're thinking. Talk to yourself about it. Question yourself about it. Question whether you're lying to yourself, because that happens. You lie to yourself a lot, and you would think, well, that's stupid. I know what I'm thinking, so why would I lie to myself? But we do it all the time. People do it all the time, and you've got to get into that conversation and start looking at yourself as if you were another person. And treat yourself with some skepticism. When you start making a decision that might be a bad decision. So get that conversation going in your head whenever you find yourself in that kind of situation. Actually, just have that conversation whenever anything is going on. It's just a good thing to be into in life. Self-talk is just a great tool for life in general. Like I said before in a lot of other videos, a lot of the stuff I say applies to more than just quitting porn. So yeah, talking to yourself, get into the habit of having a running conversation in your head between you and yourself. And that for me, it made a difference. It made a pretty big difference. And I think for you, it'll probably make a difference too if you're in any kind of the same situation that I've been in before. So that about covers it. Just a little tip there, a little shift in the way you think about things, hopefully. And yeah, let me know how that works. If you want to let me know how any of this works, or if you want me to talk about something else, you have questions, you have comments, you have concerns, you have angry letters or anything, comments, messages are great, and I would love to read those and respond to those, and help out whoever I can. Other than that, God also wants to help you, so pray all the time about everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Just pray. It's good. That about wraps it up. So yeah, we talked about talking to yourself and why that is important. And don't just go close this out and say, oh man, that was really interesting. I'll think about that. Do it. Just start doing it right now. Have a conversation in your head about what you just listened to and how that applies, how that might have applied in the past if you had thought about it. Have that conversation right now. So I will leave you to that. Have a wonderful porn-free day, and I will talk to you guys later.